Hello everyone, welcome back to R.I.P, and we're going to be figuring out what the heck's going on in Sena's route because I was upset.
Misa-chan.
I was upset when this left off last time. So upset. And I would have continued reading it right away, but I wanted to get the other one out and edited. So, she disappeared back to her world. Sena sent her off. I wonder if this is what he was going to tell her that she couldn't hear. In the darkness, I heard a voice call out. It was so painfully sweet. It was so full of love, I reached out for it.
起きて。ほら、起きてってば。
No matter how much I longed for it, I knew it was a voice I'd never be able to hear again.
みんなが君を待ってるよ。
As if the voice had pushed me back into reality, I opened my eyes. I stared up at the pure white ceiling and heard the drip drop of the IV. I felt weary as I brought my heavy hand to my face. Sena. Tears began falling down my cheeks. I know, right? Oh, what is going to happen? How's she going to get back to him?
Misa.
Just then, a soft mumble escaped my mother's lips and made its way to my ear. Oh? I didn't realize my mom was by my side, and I looked at her in a daze. Mom. I'm sorry and thank you. I have so many things I want to say to you. But as I watched the tears fill my mother's eyes, I found the first words I should say. I'm home. Things got crazy after that. The hospital seemed to think the odds I'd regain consciousness were very low. I watched as the panicked doctors did range of consciousness checks, then brain scans, everything. Then as evening came, Sayaka came to visit.
もう大丈夫なの?
Yeah, of course. We won't know for sure until the test results come back, but my head is clear. It still hurts a lot. Aside from all that, I think I'm fine.
よかった.
As I wrapped both of my hands around her, Sayaka hung her head low.
謝って済む問題じゃないけど、改めてごめんね。あなたが事故に遭ったのも、元はといえば私が。
You don't need to keep doing that. You don't need to apologize anymore. I've heard them all, Sayaka. That's what I told you on the phone, remember? She's like, I thought that was a dream. Sayaka's eyes widened. Why are you surprised? You got the call from Mary, didn't you?
あれ? メリーさんだったの? 死者からのメッセージって噂だから違うと思ってたんだけど。
Well, rumors don't get everything right.
詳しく聞かせて。
Maybe later, after you've calmed down. After calming her down, telling her again that I would tell her everything, I lay down in bed. I had so much to talk to Sayaka, my mom, and with the others. But for now, it was just enjoying feeling alive.
どうか、僕の分まで人生を謳歌して。
Seeing as Sena set me off like that, I intended to live my life I could be proud of. Trying my best to ignore the hole in my heart left by his absence, I drifted to sleep. I felt when my soul returned to my body. I noticed my injuries were not as serious as I thought they would be after being hit by a car. I was covered in bruises, but my bones were all intact. I spent some time in the hospital to recover my strength and go through rehabilitation. After 2 weeks, I was able to return home. Then after resting at home, I finally returned back to school.
いいミサ。くれぐれも車には気をつけてね。信号の点滅中は渡らないこと、横断歩道は手を上げて渡ること、それから。
Being paranoid. I gave a bitter smile as I put on my shoes. Mom looked as anxious as ever. 、 Sayaka and I are going to walk together the whole way, don't worry.
そう。
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 そう。 それならいいけれど。でもやっぱり車で送る？
This whole thing's made her even more overprotective than before. Well, I guess it's partly my fault for making her worry so much. I'm fine. Sayaka's waiting for me, so I'm going to go. See you later. Morning, Sayaka.
おはよう。今日からいよいよ学校復帰だね。
A little nervous, I guess.
いつも通りで大丈夫だと思うよ。それよりも学校に着く前にこれを渡したくて。
After rifling through her bag, she quickly pulled out a clear file and handed it to me. As I examined it, I found that it was... This is my career survey printout.
提出前に入院しちゃったでしょ。先生が改めて提出してって。私もね。
What do you mean, mine too?
実は提出した進路の希望を一旦取り消してもらったんだ。
Sayaka.
もう一度考え直したいの。今度は私自身が進みたいと思える道を。
Sayaka smiled proudly at me, her face radiating a maturity I'd never seen before.
なんて急にこんなことを言い出しても説得力ないかもだけど。
No, I think it's great, but I don't think it's sudden. When I was in the hospital, I saw how much pain you were in.
生き量になって私の行動を見てたって話だったよね。
While I was resting at home, Sayaka came to my house to help me with my bandages. There I told her everything that happened. At first she listened intently to every word I had to say, but when I brought up Sena, she seemed to grow distant. Sayaka, I know you're worried about it, but I actually am glad that all that happened to me. Because now I feel like I'm truly able to understand you.
そう言ってくれて言葉もないよ。
Sayaka's eyes were damp, but she took in a deep breath and seemed to calm down.
聞いてもいいのかわからないけど、セナさんのことはもう。
Before I would have just said it's fine and told her not to worry about it. But the whole experience taught me not to keep my worries to myself. I'm still having trouble sorting things out. I think I need some more time.
そっか。
After saying that, Sayaka patted me lightly on the back.
何かあったら力になるからね。いつでも話を聞くから。
Sayaka. I felt sadness welling up in my eyes, but I suppressed it and forced a smile. First things first, I'd like to get your opinion on my career path.
それすっごく嬉しいよ。張り切って相談に乗っちゃうから。
Thanks. Talking like this with Sayaka made me realize my life had gone back to normal. After talking with Sayaka about it, I'll have to talk to my mom. Determined not to let anything else interfere, I set my eyes squarely on the future. It was then I found that small spark Sena had talked about. Oh? What is it? I'm curious about my CGs now. Am I going to get one in this one, or is it going to be nothing because it's going to take us a chapter to get back to Sena? A few days had passed since I started to focus on my career path, my future career path. The small spark I found came to me in a dream. One day after school, at Sayaka's suggestion, I decided to head to that cafe.
ああ、石木さん。来てくれるのを待ってたよ。最近顔を見ないなって気になっていたんだ。
The owner spoke gently to me with a smile on his face. In his hands, he held a sheet of paper which immediately attracted Sayaka's eye.
アルバイト募集？それ見せてくれませんか？
ああ、これね。どうぞ。ホールスタッフ募集のポスターだよ。
The owner put the poster down on the table we were sitting at. Sayaka stared at it with wide eyes.
よかった。高校生でも大丈夫みたい。
Part-time job here?
もう、私じゃなくて、ミサだよ。
Huh?
この喫茶店は、セナさんと小さなきっかけを見つけた場所でしょ。それなら、大きな夢も見つかるかも。なんて、飛躍しすぎかな。
Her idea was so wonderful, I struggled to find a reply.
よくわからないけど、一色さんここでアルバイトしてくれるの？
Well, I'm not sure. A job here? I'll have to talk to my mom about it. This was a place I really cherished, and I'd be surrounded by sweets I loved. It was the first time I felt my heart leap with excitement since coming back. I had always had difficulty feeling confident about myself, but that day was different. When I had an idea of what I wanted to do, talking to my mom about it didn't seem so intimidating after all. I still didn't know if she'd let me get a part-time job, but even if she just told me she'd think over it, I'd be happy. I felt that I was moving forward. I was making progress. Surrounded by those good feelings, I realized it had been a month since I woke up. Wow, that's a long time. Poor Sena, man. What is he doing in this last month? Obviously, he's not crossing over. I had eaten dinner, taken a shower, and as I was drying my hair with a towel, I plopped myself down on the bed. Looking up at the ceiling, I couldn't help but think about the two of them. Sena and Koyo. I wonder if they've crossed over. Even now, there were things that would remind me of the time I spent with them. Sena most of all. Lost in these thoughts, I heard my phone ring. A call now? Who could it be? I got up and picked up my phone off my desk. Hello?
やっと出てくれた。もう、何度も電話したのに。
Sorry, I was in the bath. So what is it?
今から送るサイト、見て。
Site? I put her on speakerphone and tapped the URL Sayaka sent me in our messaging app. A Sena. Oh, a ghost of Sena? Is this a paranormal site?
何個か雑談スレがあると思うんだけど、上から9番目のを見てみて。
Number 9. I did as I was told and scrolled through from the top. When I saw the title of the 9th link, my heart stopped. Meet Sena at Beachfront Park. Huh. I guess that rumor's still going around. It was such a big urban legend around here, it made sense it wouldn't die down.
残ってるというより、まだ噂され続けてるの。
No, there's no way. I told you, didn't I? Sena said he was crossing over.
それを聞いていたからこそ電話したんだよ。あなたは知っておいた方がいいと思って。
I know, he's not gonna cross over. Like, he's gotta regret it's not being able to be with you. Sayaka's words only filled me with worry. What do you mean?
確実な情報ではないと思うけど。
Sayaka prefaced her answer, paused, and then continued.
セナさんが今どうなっているか知りたいなら、そのスレを見てみて。
Sayaka, don't hang up, okay? Please.
絶対に切らないよ。ゆっくりでいいから。
I took a deep breath and with a shaking finger tapped the link on the thread. The picture shown on the screen displayed what looked like a ghostly image on a phone camera. That's Sena. I had no idea if the image was real or not, but it was most definitely Sena. The rest of the comments were debating if it was real. I continued to scroll through the comments, but my thoughts were elsewhere. Maybe he really didn't cross over.
セナさんの心残りってどんなものなんでしょうか。悪いものではないと思うんですけど、 他の幽霊よりも気配が強いというか。
Still doesn't want to be dead. Misa's gone.
あなたたちがここへ来る少し前から気配を察知できたほどで。
I began to think that Hibiki's thoughts were correct after all. So him saying he could cross over was a lie. Sayaka? There were comments on here saying the same thing, but couldn't this be fake?
それは否定できない。心霊写真はトリックも多いから。
I see. In that case, I bet it's just a hoax. I mean, he told me. It's just rumors, no doubt.
あ、そうだった。私ったら噂を鵜呑みにして電話しちゃって本当にごめんね。
Nah, don't worry about it. I was pretty surprised too. Sayaka and I talked for a bit after that and we hung up. Mom's working on night shift tonight. I glanced up at the twinkling stars and dashed out of my room. Go find him. As I ran through the night, the calm part of my brain began asking questions. It's a rumor, there's no way it's true. And even if it were true, what could I do about it now? I can't see him, I can't talk to him, and yet, when I thought he might still be there, I couldn't stand still. Unable to sort out my emotions, I stopped when I reached the park. Before I could even catch my breath, I yelled, "Sena, are you there?" My voice echoed through the darkness and was absorbed by the starry night sky. Sena. I knew there would be no response, yet I waited patiently for his reply. I looked around and, as expected, saw no one. We're gonna believe he's crossed over, but it's not a save, so we're gonna believe the rumors first. I felt like Sena is still here. I had no idea who wrote the post or why. I had no idea if it was real or fake. Had it only been a comment, I probably wouldn't have believed it, but that picture, it was real. Sena, do you still have lingering regrets? I murmured to the darkness, but received no reply. What if Sena had become a wraith? Alright, back to the beginning. We're going to believe he's crossed over. What am I doing? I took a deep breath of the cold night air in and finally caught my breath. I'm not going to let some silly anonymous message board fool me. Sena wouldn't lie to me. I believe him. He's crossed over. Sena, you've crossed over, right? I'm choosing to believe you. Then, as my mumbled words were carried by the wind, thought I saw something in the darkness shimmer and my eyes darted towards the object. Sena? I thought I felt the slightest presence of something there, but only darkness surrounded me. Staring into the shadows, I began to feel uneasy. I have to believe. I kept saying those words to myself over and over, but my anxiety would not leave me. What would I do if Sena ended up as a wraith? The next day, I couldn't sleep at all last night. As Sena crossed over, had he become a wraith? As I started thinking about those things, I just couldn't stop. With racing thoughts in my mind, I couldn't sleep. Groggily, I got up and began getting ready for school. When the lunch break started, I walked to the cafeteria with Sayaka.
それでね、心霊研究をしているサークルが。ねえ、聞いてる？おーい。
Yeah, what happened? Sayaka stared blankly at me. I couldn't remember what she was talking about, but her annoyed stare left me uncomfortable. Sayaka.
セナさんのこと考えているの？
How did you know?
だって昨日の今日だからさ。私が余計な噂を教えちゃったばかりに。
I know. It's just a rumor. It has to be. I knew if I made too much of it, it would only hurt Sayaka's feelings too. With that in mind, I tried to put on a smile to make things right.
嘘ついてるってわかるんだから。本当は割り切れてないんでしょ？
Of course there was no fooling my best friend. She saw right through me.
一つだけセナさんの行方を知る方法があるんだけど。
How? I quickly jumped forward, leaving Sayaka to look surprised, and then smiled.
あんまり期待されると困るかも。私自身一度も成功したことないからさ。
As she spoke, Sayaka began rummaging through her bag below the table. The spirit board. What she took out from her bag was something I'd seen before. That's... Wait, Sayaka, are you talking about using the spirit board? Maybe my reaction was a little too harsh, but Sayaka merely blinked back, surprised.
そうだけど、もしかして私の知らないところでこっくりさんをやったことがあるの？
Yes. I had told Sayaka most of the things that happened to me when I was a ghost, but I left out the bit about the spirit board. Actually, once, when I was a ghost. To say that she was captivated by my words would be an understatement. For the time being, I asked Sayaka if I could borrow her spirit board tools and try it out. Sayaka had cram school that day and looked very disappointed she wouldn't be able to join me. Then after school, the evening sun stained the classroom. I took a seat at my desk and unfolded the spirit board equipment. Here we go. Oh, spirit of the board, please come forth. I chanted slowly as though I was making a wish or a prayer. Then, the coin I was holding began to shake and it slowly slid over to a single word on the tip of the paper, yes. Before I could even ask my question, the coin began to move around the board. What is it doing? You again? I knew it. I was like, how's he gonna respond to talking to her again? I can't see him, but based on that response, it has to be the same spirit as before. I breathed a sigh of relief, then... out with it. It was easy to picture his annoyed face staring down at me, so I quickly asked my question. The rumors about the ghost at Beachfront Park, the boy gazing at the stars, I want to know more about him. Has he crossed over yet? Does he still roam this earth? The coin began to move slowly before stopping at... yes. Yes, what? Yes, he crossed over, yes, he roams the earth. Confronted by his honest answer, I felt a sharp pain in my heart. Yeah, he still roams the earth. The 10-yen coin began to shake as if pushing me to ask the next question. Please tell me one more thing. Has he become a wraith? The coin paused for a moment, then glided over towards the answer. No. You still have time. Save him. Thank goodness. Perhaps because I was so worried about him, I accidentally let out a sigh. But if he hasn't crossed over yet, that means there's still a chance he'll become a wraith. I knew I had to do something, for now I wanted to meet Sena. Wait, will he still remember me? Of course. He only had his memory for 2 days. As I thought about these things, the coin began to shake furiously again. Sorry. There's something else I want to know. Does he still remember me? I was so nervous my fingers shook, but I made every effort to ensure I didn't let go. Then the coin began to move again. Yes. The moment I saw the results, a wave of relief washed over me. Thank goodness he remembers me. He was probably incredibly heartbroken. I felt a warm sensation spread through my chest. Judging by the way that he responded when you wanted to know his true feelings, and the fact that he didn't tell you, just screams heartbroken. I felt a warm sensation spread through my chest. Either way, if he hasn't crossed over yet, I have to meet him. I have to find some way to help him. But I still didn't know how to meet him. That's right, I can ask how I can meet him. Sorry, I promise this is my last question. Can you tell me how to meet him? I stared intently down at the coin, but For a very long time, the coin remained perfectly still. Does that mean there's no way? I don't care if I can't see him, I just want to talk to him. Just then, the coin began to move. Ask friend. Oh. Friend? My friend? You talking about Sayaka? I tilted my head in confusion. The coin began to move again. His friend. Koyo's dead. Hibiki is a fan, but still dead. Who's his friend? His? Is he talking about a friend of Sena's? Then it struck me. He's dead, though. I had completely oh. Voice chat, huh? Good work. Koyo had the ability to connect the living and the dead. Yeah, I know, but you have to be on the verge of suicide for him to contact you. After thanking and saying goodbye to the spirit board, I headed straight to the park. I wanted to find a way to reach Koyo, even though I knew he might not be there. Still, I knew if I kept calling, there's a chance he'd hear me. I walked around the park whispering Koyo's name. Koyo.
ねえ、あの子、さっきからブツブツ言ってて怖くない？
It's fine.
聞こえるだろ。それにジロジロ見るなって。
だって。
I must look pretty weird right now. I can't really do this with so many people around. I should have come at night. Hiding my embarrassment, I continued to desperately call out Koyo's name, but my phone remained silent. Then later that evening, I was completely unable to relax. Even as I watched TV with my sister, my thoughts continued to drift to Koyo's whereabouts. I wonder if he is watching the stars with Sena. Checking the clock, I saw it was past 8 p.m. Hey sis, I'm going to go buy some desserts at the convenience store. Want anything? As I stood up, my sister grinned.
甘いものならもう買ってあるんだな。冷蔵庫にケーキ入ってるぞ。
You ruined her excuse. Oh. Why today of all days? I know, right?
なんだよ、ケーキじゃダメだったか？
Yes, we're in the mood for ice cream. No, that sounds great. Thanks. I'd be happy any other day. Trying not to seem suspicious, I reluctantly head to the fridge.
なあ、今度は何に悩んでんの？
Just, your sister will understand. Just tell you when to go to the park. I stopped and turned to my sister. As she stared back at me, I could see that her eyes were filled with concern.
進路についてだったら、母さんも理解してきてると思うし、そんなに心配することないよ。喫茶店でのアルバイトについては、私からも母さんに掛け合うからさ。
This. It's not about my career path survey. I didn't know what to say. I felt guilty for making her worry about me. There's someone I want to help, but it's not going very well. With that, the worry in my sister's eyes disappeared, and she looked at me with surprise.
あんた、好きな男でもいんのか？
Yes, it is. Huh? Why would you think that?
勘かな。
Yeah, she's good.
それで、どうなの？
It's, well, that, yeah, he's kind of dead.
うわ、その反応。マジかよ。まさか、コンビニって言っておいて、そいつに会いに行こうとしてた？
It sounds really bad when you say it like that.
ははなるほどな。道理でケーキに食いつかないわけだ。
Your sister wants to sneak out to meet a boy. She seemed to see right through me, despite not having all the facts. She figured out he was a ghost, and now that would have been really surprising.
恋愛ね。応援してやりたいとは思うけど、この時間に誘う男ってどうなの？
It's not like that. I just wanted to check on him on my own. I've said way too much.
様子を見に行ってどういうことだよ。てっきり待ち合わせでもしてんのかと思ったけど。
Well, this guy, he's a bit frail, so I have to go see him. As I awkwardly tried to explain things to her, my sister's expression shifted rapidly.
もしかして病院に入院してるとか？あ、入院中に出会ったのか。
Huh? Oh, yes. Yeah, while I was in the hospital. I guess that's not entirely wrong. I know, right?
そっか、そんなことがあったのか。でもこの時間だと面会はできないだろう。まさか面会できないくらいの重症患者。
Oh my goodness. Why don't you just tell her you want to go to the park? This?
マジかよ。そんな切ない声をしてんのかよ。前途多難じゃんか。
She's been binging those TV dramas again.
うん、よし、行ってこい。
Go now. Huh? Are you sure it's okay?
いいに決まってんだろ。あんたの愛を応援するよ。
Thanks. I'll be back in a bit. Maybe about an hour.
ああ、頑張れよ。
I felt a bit guilty, but at least now I was able to get out of the house. Koyo, I hope you're still there. Then, as I headed towards the door...
ミサ、別れが来てもへこむんじゃないぞ。覚悟だけはしておけよな。
She's really made up her own thing here, but somehow it fits.
あんたの愛はきっと相手に届くよ。でも、相手の思いを尊重することも忘れるなよ。
Respect his wishes. Thanks, sis. Well, I'm off. Just saying goodbye to my sister, I headed to the park, her words still echoing in my mind. Respect his wishes.
今なら僕は君を笑って見送れるから。今以上思いが大きくなればきっと僕は君を引き止めてしまう。僕独占欲が強くてさ。だから今がちょうどいいんだ。
What I'm doing right now, it might be going to get Sena's wishes, but he also hasn't crossed over yet. Is it wrong for me to try to reach out to him? Koyo, are you there? Even if it was wrong, I'd come too far to back down now. Please, Koyo, please let me talk to Sena. I don't want him to turn into a wraith. I'm just going to keep coming until you connect me with him. Actually, no, I won't leave. Please just let me talk to him. Let me know if he's alright. Oh my goodness! Staring down at my phone, my heart leapt at the glitching display. The ringing of the phone ceased and a familiar voice came from the phone. That's funny. Kaya's voice. Kaya, is that really you? His voice was filled with nostalgia, stirring emotions deep within me. Yeah, long time no see. After I spoke, I heard an exasperated voice reply back to me. Aww. Huh? Oh, it's sensitive to him. I know, right? He didn't say goodbye to him. I'm sorry, it just happened so fast and... Thank you so much for taking such good care of me. After letting out a small sigh, I turned to the real reason I was calling. Is Sena with you right now? Do you think I could speak to him? You seem to have anticipated this question and answered dismissively. Sena's like, I don't wanna. Is he being shy?
あっちはセナの顔見えないから。
She can't see you.
ごめんなさい。
You seem so nervous. You lied to me. As soon as the words left my lips, I could almost see him wincing back. Even though I couldn't see him, it was clear from the tone of his voice that he genuinely felt bad. You lied to me. You told me not to worry because you would be crossing over.
そんなことないよ。だんだん姿も薄れてきてるから。多分もうじきだと。
I'm fading away. Did you know that there have been a ton of posts about seeing your spirit on paranormal message boards? If you really are fading away, why are there more and more sightings of you?
それは。
Tell me the truth, Sena. You aren't going to be crossing over anytime soon, are you? If you would have told me, I would have stuck around to help you.
ダメって言ったはずだよ。ミサちゃん。
Why?
あの時と答えは変わらない。僕のせいで君の人生を潰したくなかったんだ。もう君とは歩む道が違う。だから、さようなら。
You will not tell us goodbye. Wait! No, my battery! Despite my efforts to stop him, the sound of him hanging up on the phone echoed in my ears. I had a feeling this might happen. Yet being rejected by him directly impacted me far more than I thought it would. And his voice was colder than I remembered. Trying not to show the tears wound up in my eyes, I crouched down on the spot. I wonder if Sen is still here. No, he's probably gone. Despite trying not to let it bother me, our second parting was far more painful than the first. I know, right? I'm trying not to cry too. Oh, he's still there. I kneeled down next to her. She looked devastated. Seeing her back trembling slightly, I began to understand. Is she crying? I found myself overwhelmed by her feelings for me. I wanted to wipe away her tears. I wanted to hold her. But there was nothing I could do.
通話だけでよかったな。どういう意味？ひどい顔してるから、とてもあいつには見せられない。
Maybe he was right.
彼女とは、それなりに綺麗な形で、お別れできたかなと思ってたのに。こうしてまた声が聞けると、いろいろ、決心に揺らぎが出ちゃうね。ねえ、こうよ。今成仏して、最速で転生とかしたら、もう一度、彼女に会えたりするかな。年齢差20とかになるかもだけど、年下の男は嫌いかななんて。
Really younger guys, oh my goodness.
バカなこと言ってないで普通に成仏しろ。
If I could, I would have done so long ago. Even after facing my own death, my lingering regrets were far too great to let me cross over. Besides, it looks like I've added one more thing to regret.
僕はさ、割り切ったつもりだったんだ。アイドルのセナは死んだ。もうみんなに声を届けることはできない。諦めようって。でも、どうしてかな。今は、消えるのが前より怖い。どうして僕は、あの子と同じ時を、生きられなかったのかな。
It would be easier just to forget again. But I also didn't want to forget. Unable to sort out these conflicting feelings, I stayed close to Misa, looked up at the stars, and closed my eyes. Perhaps it was due to the lack of sleep or from crying so much, but I woke up the next morning with a feeling of heavy burden and despair. I went to school as I normally did, but I didn't listen to a single word. I was so distracted. I told Sayaka about what happened during lunch, and seeing my state, her face grew somber too. I spent the entire day in kind of a daze. As I left the classroom and headed for home, I noticed the mirror at the landing of the staircase. This was the last place we went on the day of our date. Little did I know it would be the first and last of our dates. Memories flooding back, I approached the mirror. My reflection looked terrible. Though technically alive, my face was lifeless like that of a ghost. I should have believed what Hibiki said to me that day. But even if I did believe him, would that have changed anything? I gently touched the mirror. Sena, I can't stop worrying about you. I'm worried you'll turn into a wraith. Suddenly I felt an icy coldness creep up my hands as I touched the mirror. I should head home. Oh, I wonder if that was Hibiki trying to comfort her. Not wanting to head straight home, I wandered the streets, hoping the chance of scenery would improve my mood. But wherever I went, memories of Sena flooded my mind, leading only to heavier and heavier sighs escaping my lips. Sena has Koyo with him. He'll be fine, even without me. So right now, I can only pray. I approached the offering box, I threw in a coin and rang the bell. Before praying, I clapped my hands. Oh God, who spirited me away, just like you saved me, please save Sena. As I pray from the bottom of my heart.
疲れておりますぞ。
You possessed. That's funny. Turning to face the voice, I saw the priest who was at the scene of my accident. What did you just say?
疲れておりますぞ。とそう言ったのですよ。わしの見立てでは、お嬢さんには霊らしきものが。
A spirit? What kind of spirit is it?
え
I mean, what kind of spirit? Is it a handsome-looking young man?
ちょっと落ち着きなさい。
Sorry. After taking a few deep breaths to calm myself, I began talking to the priest again. About this spirit.
それがですな、ついているのは感じられても、おぼろげでよく見えないのですよ。だが、悪いものではない。お嬢さんを守っているような温かい光を感じるからの。
A warm light. I couldn't help but think of Sena. Does that mean he's worried about me too?
その霊が気になるのですか？
I nod slightly, then mumbled softly. Yes, he's very important to me. I want to help him. He's stuck wandering this earth. Our worlds may be separated, but there must be something I could do to help him. The priest patted my shoulder and smiled warmly.
少し待っていなさい。
A few minutes later, the priest returned, cradling something gently in his hands. It looked like a curved stone. It emitted light similar to a shining star. What is that?
その質問に答える前に、この神社が何の神を祀っているかご存知ですかな？
I don't, I'm sorry. But my mother always said it has something to do with love and doing well in business.
さよう。ここで祀られているのは、大国主の神の分け御霊。人と人の縁を結ぶことに長けた神がおられるのです。
That means...
この勾玉は、そんな当社に昔から伝わる曰く付きの神具。力が強すぎて悪いものをも引きつけるやもしれんが、必要なら 持って行きなされ。
Really? Is that okay? I hesitantly blinked at the Magatama before graciously accepting it.
迷える者を導くのが神職の務め。というわけで、持って行きなされ。きっとご利益がありますぞ。
Thank you so much. Then I bowed deeply to the priest while holding tightly the Magatama I left the shrine. With the sacred stone in hand, I headed for a beachfront park. If Sena still existed in this world, I couldn't think of any other place he could be. I exhaled deeply as I approached the park and took a quick look around. He must be around here somewhere. I firmly gripped the Magatama, and just as I was about to call out to him, I heard a loud bark of a dog.
あれ、ミサ？
Ah, Sayaka. There was Sayaka, walking with her beloved dog, Totodamaru. That's right, this is her and Totodamaru's typical route.
制服姿ってことは、まだ家に帰ってなかったんだ。
Yeah, I had an errand to run here.
それって、ひょっとして、セナさんが関係している？
Yeah. I'm sure she knew what I was doing the moment she saw me standing alone in the park. Sayaka spoke, a thoughtful look on her face.
昼間、学校で聞いた話では、セナさんが悪霊化する可能性があるから、だから助けてあげたいんだよね。
Yes, no matter how much he refuses, I want to do whatever I can to help. Before he becomes a wraith, I want to help him cross over.
悪霊化は怖いものなんだろうし、あなたの気持ちはわかるよ。でも、セナさんはどうなんだろう。
What do you mean?
セナさんに成仏する意志はあるのかなって。
二人は自分のこと考えて、セナは成仏するように、ミサは体に戻るように。いい？
Okay.
セナ、返事は？あ、うん。わかったよ。
When we talked about crossing over before, Sena's face clouded over. Could it be that Sena... Maybe he doesn't want to cross over? In that case, I made a terrible mistake.
そうだったとして、どうして成仏したくないんだろう。
It must be... Thanks to the time I spent with Sena, I knew the answer right away. Sena always wanted to live as an idol. Perhaps... could it be, seeing that Sena is an urban legend now? Even now, he's waiting for fans to come to the park. Saika looked surprised, but she didn't say anything. Seeing that I told her everything about Sena up until now, she seemed to accept it. Maybe that wouldn't be so bad for now. I mean, there are fans coming to see him. But what if they leave? I frowned uneasily. What should I do? Oh, there's two more choices. For some reason, I thought that there was only one. But this one is a save file. We're going to save first. Our first save file. Okay, and I think it was talk to him directly. Yes, talk to him directly. I have to do something to help Sena. He might view it as a nuisance, but I can't let him become an evil spirit. If the rumors of him being an urban legend ever did die down, he'd be left there all alone. It was possible that Koi would still be there as well, but who could say for sure?
私にもできることがあったら言ってね。協力するから。
Right, thank you. I know I can count on you. Besides, you're already helping. And Saika had already helped me by listening and giving me great advice. Then Totodamaru, who had been curled up at my feet, twitched his ears and stood up. Oh, really? He then peered out towards the horizon and began barking.
ああ、はいはい。散歩中断しちゃってごめんね。ミサ、そろそろ帰ろう。もうだいぶ時間も遅いし。
I wonder if Sayaka realizes it. She was right, it was fairly late. I don't want to worry my mom, I'll come back here tomorrow. Yeah, let's go. Two of us began to head home, but Todamara refused to follow Sayaka's lead and instead kept barking at the same spot.
どうしたの殿だまる
Doesn't ring any bells. This is like what happened before. That's right, it was right here.
もう殿だまるったらはあ前もここでこんなことがあったんだよね
She huffed as she spoke. Why is it that people who are alive don't seem to notice us?
そんなの無理に決まってんじゃん。霊力ある人間なら別だけど、普通の人間にはまず無理。人間には無理でも、犬とか猫なら反応する時もある。赤ん坊もだっけか。どうだったかな。
Wait, I think I understand.
まさか
I nodded and Sayaka merely blinked at me. And I was a living ghost, and I wanted Sayaka to notice me. I tried calling Todamaru over. The exact same thing was happening now. I stepped in front of Todamaru with trembling legs and nervously called out to him. Sena? Are you there? The night wind tousled my hair. As I waited for an answer, a surprised Sayaka shouted out to me.
どう何か聞こえた
No, nothing.
そっかでも聞こえないだけで
Sayaka tried to say something else, but she was interrupted by Todamaru pulling the leash away from her.
あちょっと
Sayaka began getting pulled towards the entrance of the park.
ミサ早く先に行っちゃうよ
Yeah, I'll be right there. I went to chase after Sayaka, but something caused me to turn around. There must have been something here which caused Todamaru to react like that. And I knew it was Sena. It was the words of the priest at the Skumo shrine that caused me to be so certain. A warm spirit watching over me, that must be Sena. The choice is already here. I couldn't see him, but he was there, so... We're gonna do both choices. We're gonna ask first, can we come back? Can I come back again? Sena, can I come back again? The truth is, I care. I don't want you to become a wraith, and I'm worried about you. My voice shook with unease. Still holding the magatama in my hand, I clenched it with determination. I want to see you. I want to see your face. It would make me so relieved if... A strong gust of wind swept through, carrying my whisper with it. The magatama I was holding grew hot and started to tremble.
まったく。君って子は。
He's speaking to her. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's go back and play it from the correct choice. I'll come back again. So now I'll come back again. No matter how many times you reject me, I won't give up. Because I want you to be happy. I didn't want to say to him that I didn't want him to become a wraith. I wonder if Todamaru got let off by Koyo so they can have a moment of peace. Moment of alone time. I thought there was a better way to say it. Still holding the magatama in my hand, I clenched it with determination. I want to see you. I want to see your face. It would make me so relieved if... Strong gust of wind swept through, carrying my whisper with it. The magatama I was holding grew hot and started to tremble.
まったく。君って子は。
Huh? He couldn't see G. Oh my goodness, did he just kiss her? There he was, standing right before me. Close enough to touch, yet untouchable. I felt no sensation as our lips pressed together, but my heart raced all the same. Wrapped in the sensation of his undeniable presence.
君はつくづく僕を困らせてくれるね。でも困ったことに 嬉しさを覚える僕がいるんだ。
As I opened my mouth to speak, Sena smiled wistfully at me.
やっぱりどうしたって好きなんだよね、君のこと。
As soon as the wind died down, Sena faded away. It was as though he had never been there in the first place. I gently touched my lips. Then, opening the hand I had clenched, I gazed down at the Magatama. It had turned a discolored black as though it had lost its power. The power of the Magatama had allowed me to meet Sena. I put the Magatama back in my bag and turned to where I had seen him moments before. I love you too, which is why I can't leave things like this. Our confessions just missed one another, yet I was sure my words reached him. I'm sure he's still there. Then with a smile on my face, I ran towards the entrance of the park. Oh, that was so sweet. Even though he's not there, it just melted my heart. Chapter 8. Is this what we're going to do, like, every chapter? Like, get moments and bits of him until the very end? I mean, there's only 2 chapters, 8 and 9, so maybe he'll materialize in this one, like, fully materialize. So I thought this was how it was going to go. They fall in love early, so then they're separated for the entire route. I hate it so much, but, you know, that's just how it goes, I guess. You gotta have something to read, right? I really like Sena as a character, but I think his route is going to ruin it for me because of this, them longing for each other, but they can't be with each other kind of thing for the entire route. It's going to drive me nuts. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.